Harrison, long time no see. Let's get into your comment right into it, and it goes as follows. Falcon becoming Captain America was a terrible decision in the comics, and even worse decision for the MCU. Like, damn, Hollywood, do better. 4 out of 10 movie. Honestly, felt 1000%. Now let's get into the Bible verse. He that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the worlds of the devil. Again, that is John 3:8. Now then, let's get into the main video. So, we are here with another episode of... And personally, I was anticipating this episode more than anything else. And let me explain why. For instance, this episode and this manga, really? This is how you know I make too many Dragon Ball anime videos. I'm so used to saying manga. Anyway, yeah, this comic issue with Powerplex is so interesting to me. Like, I think this might be the most faithful adaptation to like a subsequent arc or comic issue of Invincible. Because really not much was changed besides like a very specific part that I want to touch on. Who's a freaky ass nigga that I personally had beef with, aside from like the acting and the animation as per usual. Because I will say this in any video that is involving animated properties, animation is quite literally part of the production of these shows. When you have an animated series, I feel like presentation is important. I feel as though it's one of the most important things because of the medium it's in. For some reason with adult animation, they always do their least amount of effort. I don't want to hear a damn thing about time constraints. Honestly, this is my issue with discourse online. No one ever wants to be honest about why we get projects. People want to say, oh, it's because of COVID. And then when that excuse ran dry, oh, it's because of the toxic fans. It's like, gang, I promise you, the fans are not that powerful. If we were, we would get exactly what we asked for when it comes to these entertainment industries, but we don't. If we were that powerful, they wouldn't do half the bullshit they've been doing for the past 10 years as far as Hollywood. And again, I'm being generous with 10 years, by the way. So no, the animation sucks. There's no excuse for it to suck this hard. No, I don't want to hear it. I don't care. Miss me with the excuses. But I think more than anything else, personally, because people are praising the actor from Breaking Bad who did his thing in this. Now, personally, do I think the acting was shit? Not exactly, but personally, it sounded too whiny.
Invincible! Where is your remorse? I don't want to fight you. I want Invincible. Stephen Park, Amal Shahir, Elizabeth Volpe.
And I hear y'all in the comments now, it was done intentionally. It was to show the pain more than just the villain aspect of these little more morally great characters. It's done to give more humanity, all these things. I'm like, gang, it sounded like he was bitching, bro. Like he sounded like he was crying every time.
Father may have fled, but I know you're here. You think you're above consequences, but you are wrong. Come and face justice for the lives you've taken.
Like in the comics, right? I know what y'all gonna say, oh brother, he's bringing up the comics. You know, the whole show is based off the comic. Moving on, people are gonna be like, oh man, bro, why are you bringing up the comics? It's his own thing. Even though Robert Kirkman basically uses it as like a soft reboot as far as the show and the comic being two of the same damn thing. Yeah, in the comics, bro, even without like dialogue being worded out to me and spelled out to me, you can feel the fury of Powerplex, like the anger that is shown. And you could do that. You could argue that with like Mark as well. You could say that too, and no one would look at you crazy for that. Because Mark, dead in the comic, you could see every emotion, every face expression, and you can feel what the actor could go for. And I think that's where the actor who plays Mark in the Invincible series did an amazing job. Every emotion he conveys is so raw, and you feel it. That with Powerplex, it's not there. It's honestly just not there at all. Like it feels like he's kind of sort of phoning it in. If I'm being real with you, it's just like, oh, do Breaking Bad. And he did Breaking Bad. I didn't feel Powerplex's fury because all he did was whine and cry.
I warned him. I said I didn't want to fight. He attacked me.
Like, seriously. Once again, I'm not saying that vulnerability is a bad thing in these shows, because I know someone's going to be in my comments crying. All I'm saying is the way that vulnerability is conveyed, it only shows like one side of it. Like, when you spend too much time trying to humanize him, you make him see, and who said that anger is not a part of humanity? Like, it felt like he was, again, crying more than being filled with pure rage and disdain.
Come and face Powerplex!
For Invincible, you didn't feel that. Like, Angstrom Levy is a prime example. Like, even though like they're basically the same level of hater, even though I would argue that Angstrom Levy, he kind of has less reason to hate Mark, but either way, tomato. Like, you can hear it in the voice actor's voice of how much rage he's conveying in that instance. Like, he is screaming into that microphone. Hey, kind of like I do every time I record a video. But hey, moving on. Yeah, I do think it's interesting the way they convey that with Angstrom Levy and anger, rage, and like all the things that was lost to him from his other experiences. You can feel that, and then versus that in comparison with Powerplex, and you're just like, something about his performance does feel a little bit off. Like, the anger is just like not there. They went more for the sympathetic light than to show all sides. As if you can't be sympathetic to a man angry. Like, what? I don't know, man. Call me crazy, but I did think it was kind of interesting the way they made him seem more like he was crazed than like, because I feel like with these type of characters, they always lean towards that stereotype. It's like, oh, just make him look and sound crazy.
Invincible! Your father may have fled, but I know you're here.
When that's not necessary. People like this, especially in superhero media, they believe exactly what they're doing is the right thing. And they don't act crazy because they feel the logic in their own way of thinking and from their very biased point of view. So again, I feel like this is such a weird tangent for me to be on, but it is one that does make me feel kind of weird. It's the only way to justify saying, oh yeah, the voice actor sounds whiny. I know it was a lot of yap just to explain that, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. And also, I gotta pat that runtime, baby. Give me them views. Anyway, aside from that, yeah, I do think the episode was pretty much a one-to-one comparison to the issue that it was based off. Because like one of my not last, but like my second to last Invincible video that I did on Oliver and comparing the scenes, it's like I read all the way up to the Powerplex stuff and then finished the Powerplex stuff because it got that good, and then stopped there. Because don't get me wrong, I've already read the entire Invincible manga.
A few minutes later,
I've already read the Invincible comic so many times years ago when like season 1 dropped. So I'm not new to this, I'm true to this, but I did want to reread it because when it comes to upcoming episodes, I do try to get like a fresh reread of it so I can be able to compare the videos and things like that. But aside from that, yeah, it was a very interesting thing that I didn't think I would have an issue with. And it was when Powerplex was locked up. It was like, he was explaining to Mark how no matter what, I'll always find a way to get out and I'll find you, yada, 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 woo, woo. But they cut out certain pieces of that dialogue, and I think that was crazy.
Sooner or later, I'll find my way free. And then I will find you.
It was probably like the most chilling thing that happened in that entire issue with Powerplex. Like, bro, man was on a mission with Mark. You felt that with every fiber of his being, he would find a way. He felt like the hero of his own story, truly. Even more so than I would say, again, the show. And I feel like, again, my problem with the show is that certain parts about the comic are better. And then when I voice why they're better, people are like, I'm tripping. I'm like, how? Like, dude, if you look at the comic scenes, like it adds so much more to these characters and it makes them more interesting, right? The show just makes them voice act. You feel me? Like, the comic literally has a piece of dialogue where he's like, someone will mess up. Someone will drop a pen or a pencil. A guard will get lazy and I will be free. I will have my revenge. It was way more impactful. It was way more intense. I'll even read it out to y'all when I'm like editing this, of course, just so y'all can feel what I mean. Because man,
you think this is it for me? You think that I'm no longer a threat to you? I'm here to say that you're wrong. I will avenge all the deaths that you caused, each and every one of them. I've got time in here. I'm researching, finding every single person who lost their life because of something you did. I'm going to make you pay for it all. I won't be in here forever. They're keeping me contained. No solar energy, electricity, they've cut me off. But sooner or later, I'll find someone. Someone will mess up. A guard will get careless, hit me, Give me the energy I need to escape. And when that happens, I'll find you. And I'll find a way to kill you.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
No.